The Dutch Caribbean Securities Exchange, DCSX, is a self-regulatory international exchange for the listing and trading in domestic and international securities. Simply put, it is a platform where companies can register to get funds, for instance for expansion, and investors can invest in these registered companies. The DCSX realizes that for the international business community to prosper, startups as well as small and medium-sized enterprises must be in the position to attract capital on a regulated and practically oriented exchange, and to do so at fair costs. It is this startup and SME community that the DCSX is focused on servicing. In order to get your company registered or listed at the DCSX, you first need a Listing Adivsor of the DCSX. The Listing Advisor will guide you before, during and after the listing process. The process of your company's registration, structure, foundation. The DCSX Foundation functions as the self-regulatory direct supervisory body that assures that management of the DCSX adhere to the processes as laid down in the rules and regulations. It is also the DCSX Foundation that needs to approve new members to the DCSX. The board of the DCSX Foundation is composed of representatives of financial institutions and/or other organizations whose interest it is that Curaçao has a well-functioning securities exchange corporation. The board of directors of the exchange consists of the CEO, the president of the board, the treasurer of the board, and a few board members. A listing committee is responsible for approving new listings on the exchange. Arbitration is managed by an appeals committee. Rules and regulations. The DCSX has a set of well-defined rules to regulate and supervise the market and its participants. The rules provide smaller companies with flexibility and easier access to an equity market while providing transparency and strong governance. The DCSX is a regulated membership organization, licensed by the Minister of Finance and supervised by the Central Bank of Curaçao and Sint Maarten. The DCSX follows Curaçao law, which is in concordance with Dutch law. Final appeals of dispute are heard and decided at the Supreme Court of the Netherlands. Supervision. The DCSX operates under full license of the Minister of Finance of the Curaçao government and is supervised by the Central Bank of Curaçao and Sint Maarten. The supervision of the central bank comprises, among other things, ensuring transparency and business integrity, the proper administrative organization and internal control environment, and the adequate functioning of the securities market and exchange. Custodian. The DCSX custodial bank is Vidinova Bank N.V. Vidinova Bank N.V.'s majority shareholder, with an equity ownership of greater than 80%, is the Vidinova Pension Fund in Curaçao. Participating companies. DCSX members: Algemeen Pensioen Fonds, APC, WWSEC, and Trades BV, PSB Bank N.V., Banco Dutch Caribbean N.V., Curo Management Corp., Amageries Global Listing and Exchange Services N.V., Guardian Group, Fatum Holding N.V., Stichting Corporation para Desarrollo de Curso, Corpodeco, Stichting Ontwikkeling Project en Logistieke Sector, SLS, Maduro and Curials Bank N.V., Vidinova Bank N.V., Stichting Vidinova Pensioen Fonds, Dutch Caribbean Securities Limited, BV, DCSX Listing Advisors, Atlas Fund Services, Eclipse Management BV, Amageries Global Listing and Exchange Services N.V., Maduro and Curials Bank N.V., Trustmoor, Curaçao, N.V., SGG Management, Curaçao, Services, Van Ops Kuhneman van Doorn, Vistra, Curaçao, N.V., Shanghai Chucheng Investment Management Co. Limited. DCSX Brokers. Banco Dutch Caribbean N.V. Amagiris Global Listing and Exchange Services N.V. Maduro and Curials Bank N.V. Vidanova Bank N.V. WW Second Trades B.V. Dutch Caribbean Securities Limited. B.V. Affiliations. The DCSX is a correspondent member of the World Federation of Exchanges. See also Euronext. Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange. ECSE. Regional exchange for the English region. Central banks and currencies of the Caribbean. DCSX. CW.